Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I am your host, Dennis Patholkis, and this is Saturday Morning Blast Off. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, sorry about that. I was a little bit late. I was having a little conversation there in the chat and lost track of time. But yeah, so yes, Stanley Tweedle, I know you're trying to be a little more educated, but the word you're trying to use is not curmudgeon, it was asshole. That's what you want to use to describe me on that one. Yes, I know. My viewpoints do not mesh with everyone else's. I understand that. And that's okay. So, welcome everybody. Dennis is making it easier for me only to watch SBO 6:30 p.m. Yeah, sorry, Stanley. I know you're overseas, and unfortunately, 6:30 works for me for my work schedule. So, I got my day job. And for those of you who are wondering who didn't notice, I've got new cans here on. I just really hate the earbuds, stuff like that. They're always popping out and everything. And this is just so much easier. Even though it sounds like I'm in a can now, which is kind of weird because my ears are completely engulfed. And yeah, thank you, Viking Bitch. Yeah, they were on sale on Amazon. They did an Amazon treasure trek and they had them for like 50% off. And I'm like, those look pretty good. All right. So I bought them. And we'll see how they do for music. I've got a little while left before I can, actually return them if I don't like them. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm gonna wait for some more people to pull into the room here. But so they had some casting announcement on one of the leads for Amazon's Lord of the Rings series, and it's Will Poulter. Now, you might not know who Will Poulter is, and that's okay. That's fine. If you ever saw We're the Millers, he was the kid, the guy, redheaded kid, kind of goofy looking. He's also been in the what was it, the Maze Runner series and all that stuff. Kind of played an asshole in that one too, and so yeah, he's gonna end up being in that series as well. So yeah, I honestly I don't care one way or the other. It's Lord of the Rings. I know people are going to watch it. They want to watch it and everything. I'm not going to probably cover it. To tell you the truth, I'm not a fan. So yeah. Yes, the DJ. That's it. Spin a few tunes. What? No. That's scratching for those of you kids out there who don't know what that is. That is where we used to take records. Those big round vinyl things that music was printed on. And you put it on a turntable, which I know you still know what a turntable is, and you could scratch. It fucked up your records, but it sounded cool. Yeah, I quite honestly, Stanley Tweedle, I agree with you on this. I really don't care. I don't need to see any more Lord of the Rings. It seems like it's the same story over and over and over again. And I don't know. It just, like I said, it doesn't really excite me at all. It doesn't do anything for my imagination or anything like that. It just kind of is there. So put some blinky LED lights on my headphones. No, that's a little bit distracting, I think, even for me on that. So yeah. Maybe you'd actually like this rendition of Lord of the Rings, since this time fans probably won't. Highly doubtful, Pen. Highly doubtful. So hey, Morks, how's it going? Let's see what else I got here. Let's go to one of the big items then. So Peter Capaldi has joined Suicide Squad 2 and has a shaved head because it was for, as he put it, prosthetics that he was wearing. I don't know what character he's playing, but if it's needing prosthetics, I'm guessing he's going to be like a character who's in it not that long, but I don't know. Who knows? Also, Pete Davidson from SNL is supposedly in talks to join for a small cameo. Everyone and their mother, it seems like, is getting ready to join into this Suicide Squad 2 movie, and I'm okay with that. It's fine as long as it's a good movie. It's James Gunn, so hey, you know. Um, excuse me. And I'm going to warn you right now, the news of this week was pretty dry. It was I not only scraped the bottom of the barrel, I went through the bottom of the barrel, down into the ground that was underneath the barrel, dug a couple of feet down into it to find out if there's any news. So yes, it's bottom of the barrel news. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it as exciting as possible. That's why I'm here. Yeah. Caleb Richardson, thoughts on Lord of the Rings show apparently having $100 million per episode budget. That's ridiculous, Caleb. I agree with. It's not $100 million per episode. It's they spent $1 billion because of the rights. From what I understand, 500 million of that is going to the Tolkien estate for the rights, and the other $500 million is supposed to be for 3 seasons because they already have 3 seasons that they are planning on. Yeah. That's how expensive it was. So if you figure, 3 seasons, it's still going to be expensive per episode. Yeah, it's still crazy expensive. So you think, or I could be wrong on that too. I think it might even be $800 million for the licensing rights and $200 million for the 3 seasons. I can't remember offhand. It's been a while. I just know it was a shitload of money for the rights on that. And it was more than what was going to be per episode. Does that mean we're going to have to rail against Star Wars and Star Trek? It's kind of funny. Actually, one of the writers for Star Trek Discovery quit recently because he used the N-word in the writer's room. He was actually describing an incident that happened to himself in the 60s. He happens to be African American and was relaying what some cop told him. And I guess someone told HR, and they talked to him and said, "Yeah, you made someone feel uncomfortable in the writers' room for using that word." And he was like, "All right, I'm out of here," and he quit. As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to hamper any of the quality of that show. So it's just one of those weird stories that I saw. Yeah. Again, this is me going through the news that I was reading through and I was looking for, and I, yeah. He actually reiterated what it was. It was a short story, really. It was just about a cop stopping him and the reason why he was in the quote unquote wrong neighborhood. And he said, if a white person was in this other neighborhood, I would have stopped them just as well, and all that. Yeah. It does sound pretty stupid, but at the same time, I think he kind of overreacted too and just saying, "Yeah, I'm quitting." But yeah. Yeah, early 1960s police officers. Yes, definitely. That's something that would happen. But yeah, I'm not here to talk about Star Trek Discovery though, because quite honestly, no one watches that except for a few people. But I don't, because it's behind a paywall. Sorry. There's only so many things I'll pay for behind a paywall, and I really want to watch good stuff. I'm offended by your offendedness. Thanks, Stanley. Yeah. So speaking of being offended, no. So Haley Atwell is supposedly joining the cast for the next Mission Impossible movie. I think they're up to Mission Impossible 39 now or something like that, or is it 53? I can't remember offhand. But she has joined the cast of the next Mission Impossible movie, and I guess she's probably going to play the love interest to 95-year-old Tom Cruise. Because what's going to happen? Yeah. Is he 93? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was 95. Yeah. Although he is going to be running for a good, the movie is supposed to be 140 minutes long. No, excuse me. I took that back. It was 4 hours and 40 minutes long, and he's supposed to be running for 4 hours and 30 minutes of it the entire time. He's even going to be running in place sometimes as well. I'm going to disagree with you on that, Pen. Especially after the first movie where they made Phelps the bad guy, I was pretty much, peeing all over it, as they say. Yeah. And then I tried watching, Brad Bird one as well, and yeah, it's that clay table and e-meter that have preserved him, probably. So what's the next show to review? Legion's done. The Boys is done. What's next, Booney? I actually just started. I started Titans yesterday. And I also have, what else do I have going on? I can talk about that for a little bit. Let's see what else I've got happening here. Excuse me. My throat's a little bit kind of raw for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. So I got Titans, of course. Harley Quinn, the animated series, is coming in mid-October. I got that. Mr. Robot is coming October 6th. Primal, I'm going to take a shot at that one too, which is the Gennady Tartakovsky one on October 7th. The Watchmen HBO series. Now, that's on October 20th. That's one of my news items here. That was they just did a trailer for it, a new trailer for it. It was just released. And October 20th is the release date, and it's at 9 p.m., which, of course, conflicts directly with Mr. Robot. Now, since Mr. Robot happens a little earlier, 2 weeks earlier to be exact, I'm going to cover Mr. Robot first, and then I'm going to see how it does for those 2 weeks. If it garners less than 100 views, I'm probably going to end up switching over to Watchmen as the first watch thing, and then, of course, moving Mr. Robot over to a later time. So, yeah, you're gonna have to start your own channel for Farscape. There we go. Farscape. That's what it's called. Sorry, I read Ejar's thing right there, and I got confused. Yeah, I'm not doing Farscape. Sorry, I tried. I went through an entire season, and no. Disenchantment is coming out on September 20th as well on Netflix. The second part of that. I'm actually going to do a Is It Worth My Time for that one? Yeah, I know you haven't heard that joke before, have you, Viking Bitch? On that one. Oh, by the way, Viking Bitch, you need to send me your address because Jasper Seho only has until 7 o'clock tonight in order to get me his address for the foam finger for that. And since you are the runner-up, I can always send it to Movie Fanobi's house. That's no problem. But if you want to come directly to you, give me, send me your address. Yeah. So he still hasn't gotten back to me yet. Everyone else has gotten back to me. So, except for Jasper, unfortunately. The Good Place starts on September 26th. Again, I'm not going to do a coverage of that one. That might be a Is This Worth My Time episode. Another Is This Worth My Time episode I can skip. Thanks, Stanley. Yeah. Let's see what else I have. Batwoman is on. I'm not doing Batwoman. I'll tell you that much. The Man in the High Castle, though, is on November 15th. I may end up doing that one. Again, as a Is It Worth My Time? Not as a series. And then, of course, The Expanse on December 13th, which I will be covering. Yeah. It's my handy dandy journal that I've got going on there. Yes, it is Jack Daniels, by the way. So there you go. That's what I'm going to be doing somewhat. I am Saya. Oh noes, but it's the final season of The Good Place. I know it's the final season, Saya. So I actually thought about doing that last season. Excuse me. Wow. I really did think about doing The Good Place last season, and then I was sitting there with a pen and paper, watching it. I wrote down 2 sentences, and I'm like, no, I can't do this. I can't do it as a episode by episode review. It just doesn't work. It's too there isn't enough happening in every episode in order to talk about it, and each video would be like 5 minutes long of me going, and this is what happened. They resolved this. They didn't resolve that. All right, that's good. That was fun, but boom, gone. So yeah, that's why I didn't do it. You can't do any harm to The Good Place. I know that, Stanley. I know it's already gone, but still. I like The Good Place. I really do. I think it's a great concept, but I can't cover it. I can do it as a one-off. That's about it. But yeah, I can't cover it, episode by episode. Yeah, I know they start with a double episode. It'd probably be worth a good 10 minutes then. No. Yeah. It's easier to just talk about, an entire series versus just to make shit up. What do you think I do every time I'm on here, Joe? Don't give away my secrets. You could do one video on the whole season. I could, but it's just easier to do one video on the entire series, quite honestly. And that way I could just talk about it as a whole, because some people either are not going to see it at all, or some people have already watched every single bit of it and are in it. There's no in between, quite honestly, on that show. I'll pass on The Good Place. I like nasty places. So, yeah. Don't we all? There are some nasty places in The Good Place, though, too. That's what makes it The Good Place. Aha. So, Sony Pictures chairman and CEO Tony Vinciquerra has said, quote, "For the moment, the door is closed," end quote, regarding Spider-Man remaining in the MCU. Now, what the fuck does that mean? So this is in a Variety article that he ended up doing an interview with, and basically he said, he puts it, Vincent Quera pointed to Marvel boss Kevin Feige being stretched incredibly thin with new additions coming to the MCU as one of the reasons of the breakdown in the talks. I talked about this probably about a month or two ago when this first came out, and that's exactly the reason. Was that Disney said, you know what, we're spending way too much time on one character, and Kevin Feige has an entire other universe to run. So they actually took Kevin Feige out of the bargaining chip, and they put in his second, I can't remember who it was now, to negotiate with Sony. And basically saying that, it's not worth our time. And it's not. It really isn't, quite honestly, if they're going to be taking up this much time. And then Vincent Quera says, we had a great run with Feige on Spider-Man movies. The Sony chief said, we tried to see if there was a way to work it out. The Marvel people are terrific people. We have a great respect for them. But on the other hand, we have some pretty terrific people of our own. Kevin didn't do all the work. That's a backhand compliment. Actually, Kevin is the reason why you have $1 billion film. Sorry. There's no other reason behind it. If you had done this on your own and didn't involve the rest of the Marvel universe, I'm sorry, you wouldn't be getting the amount of money that you did. I love Spider-Man as much as anybody else. It's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite Marvel characters. But it's taking it out of the MCU is the biggest fucking mistake you could ever do. Granted, I know with the contract that they have or the licensing deal that they have access to 900 some odd characters from the Spider-Man universe. That is still not going to make them money. Venom did not make that much, didn't make that much money. Yes, you are doing a sequel to Venom, and now you're going to add Spider-Man to it in order to tie it in because now he's not part of the MCU. But yeah, it's not going to happen. I like the Tobey Maguire version too, Ejar, but I like the Tom Holland version as well. The Tom Holland version's just plain fun. And Spider-Verse was actually good. Into the Spider-Verse was great. Yes, it got nominated for Oscars and stuff like that. That was because of the people that they hired on. Again, people that have worked somewhere within the Marvel universe at some point in time or another. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah. Well, Disney wanted more than just merchandising plus 1% is what it was, which honestly, I can see that. If they are going to be putting their foot out there, if you will, and adding some effort to it and adding Spider-Man into their universe, I would want a bigger percentage too. 50-50 split, maybe not. Maybe if they had gone 60-40 or something like that, 60 going to Sony, 40 going to Disney, possibly. The Miles Morales Spider-Verse is its own property. Yes, it is. I am Saya. Yes. Marvel does have a lot of characters to use, but then again, they don't have a lot of characters to use, Joe. It's kind of a weird thing, especially with that deal. Like I said, Sony owns now 900 some odd characters because of Spider-Man, because of that whole Spider-Man deal. You heard the last offer was 30-70. That sounds about right. Yeah. Yeah. It was probably a rumor, Stanley. I'm sure that Sony was not going to offer up 30-70. Yeah, they're being really, really stingy on it. And they're thumbing their noses at Disney is what they're doing. They're saying that they can do it on their own, which I'm gonna laugh because it's the Spider-Man curse now. It's third movie of Spider-Man, and it either gets made and crashes and burns, or it never gets made. So there you go. There we go. So many stories and possibilities with the Norrin Rad source material. Yeah, with Fantastic Four, X-Men, stuff like that coming in. Quite honestly, they don't need Spider-Man. I hate to say it, but the MCU does not need Spider-Man. Spider-Man needs the MCU a shitload more than the MCU needs Spider-Man. So that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. What else do I have here? So the other thing, people are wondering, who in the hell is that disfigured guy that I put in the thumbnail? That is CW version of Jonah Hex from DC's Legends of Tomorrow. And he's actually coming back for the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event that's happening this fall, as a matter of fact. Excuse me. And let me see here. I'm actually trying to open up the article as I'm talking to you about this. There we go. So the guy who's playing him is named Jonathan Sketch. It's a really hard name. It's SCHAECH. There we go. Ooh, wow. Obviously, the vodka's not working. Take a little bit more. No, that's not vodka. It's just water, as far as you know. So yes, he is returning, and actually, he was my favorite incarnation of Jonah Hex so far. I mean, granted, we only had two. We had the bloated, really shitty version with Josh Brolin in that really bad movie that had Toe Thumb what's her name? Megan Fox. There we go. And when she's your best actress in the movie and she is acting circles around everyone else, and some of these people that have been nominated for Academy Awards and stuff like that, you know your movie's bad. Yeah. There we go. Isn't Hex? His Hex isn't as bad as the silver screen version from a few. His Hex is actually a lot better. The small screen version of Hex is a lot better by light years than Brolin's Hex. Yeah. Yes, I said toe thumb. That's exactly it. If you look at her thumbs, if you realize they never show Megan Fox's hands, it's because her thumbs look like toes. They're disgusting looking, quite honestly. Yes, Megan Fox is an actress. I agree, Penn. It was harsh, but it is accurate. Yes. I will never lie to you guys about this stuff. Yeah. DC is so frustrating too because they have these great characters to work with. Even they have a lot of really good characters, a lot of great characters, a lot of great stories, and they fuck it up every single time. And the reason why is they won't bring in a Bruce Timm. They won't bring in someone who actually knows how to write for the characters. Instead, they bring in Jeff Johns. I'm sorry, but Jeff Johns' Power Rangers. Oh, excuse me, that wasn't the Power Rangers. It was, something else for the Green Lantern. Yeah, whatever, Jeff. And then they bring in Akiva Goldsman. Come on. Somebody at Warner Brothers, get your head out of your ass. I know there's a lot of coke up there that you're trying to get to, but get your head out of your ass and put somebody in charge that actually knows what they're doing and actually loves the DC universe and will put your movie properties back on point. Shazam was a good starting place. Shazam was a great movie and an excellent starting place. You need to start going with that. No, I don't think anyone saw Megan's Body. Pen Farm Girl. Sorry. Yeah. That's not proven that she's an actress. Hey, I'm telling you, go and take a look at Jonah Hex if you dare, the movie. And I tell you what, she is actually Academy Award winning acting in that compared to everyone else. Yeah. You have to admit that she was hot in that first Transformers. Yeah, I agree with you, Penn. And you actually know what her audition was for that to get that role, Penn? Was that Michael Bay had her come over and wash his car in a bikini. I am not kidding you. That was her audition, which tells you a lot about Michael Bay and why I would never want to work for that man. Because I've also heard other horror stories too. Yeah. From people that are in the industry that do special effects. That's all I can say. Sometimes there are roadblocks that keep you from seeing the rest of the package. I don't know what you're talking about, HR, but I had a couple of jokes that were there, and I'm not gonna go with it. No, Stanley, I'm pretty sure he was worse than Weinstein. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a cleaned up version of whatever that story was. I wouldn't put it past him, to tell you the truth. Although I did find it funny that Steven Spielberg basically will not let him leave the Transformers series. They're making so much money off of it that he's like, nope, you're staying. You're going to direct another one. So yeah, he wanted to quit after like number 2, and Spielberg like forced him to do 3 and 4. No, that's fine, Stanley. I didn't like him either. He's very formulaic in his movies. I do have to admit though, The Island is, a lot of people have never seen The Island with Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor. It's actually a decent movie, I have to admit. Yeah. Yes, I am sorry. He wanted to quit after Transformers #2. And Spielberg's like, nope, we're making too much money. You're doing #3. And after #3 made some more money, they're like, nope, you're going to do #4. So, yeah. Cars turning into giant robots and mass explosions. And don't forget the American flag waving in the background, too. You got to have the gigantic American flag waving in the background. That's part of every single Michael Bay movie. Yeah. See what I mean? And the island is Steve Buscemi in that one's awesome too. There's actually quite a few people in that movie, The Island. I was surprised. I can't watch Bad Boys, to tell you the truth. I don't know why. It just doesn't do anything for me. No, you don't, Movie Fanobi. You do not. Because that's not part of the deal. The Rock. See, The Rock, I can only watch Agent Future as a comedy. That's the only way I can actually watch that. I don't view it as anything else other than a comedy. It's really bad. The first 4 minutes of Bumblebee were better than all the Transformer movies combined. You know what? I haven't seen that one. I was waiting for it to come out on cable or something like that before I watched it. I think I watched the first 2 Transformer movies and that was it. And I was done. I've seen 3 and 4, but again, I think it was on cable or something like that. Maybe we're the only smart ones. What was that? I haven't seen any of them either. Well, you're not really missing anything. I mean, unless you really like Shia LaBeouf. There is a great joke, by the way. I've been watching. So Teen Titans Go to the Movies. It's an animated movie, and it's been on rotation on HBO. And I seem to have been catching it quite a bit lately. And there's a great joke in there where they finally get their movie. They're in there getting ready to film, and they see Deathstroke. And Deathstroke is supposed to be now their arch nemesis, because that was the whole thing. They couldn't get a movie done until they got an arch nemesis. And they start beating the shit out of this guy, Deathstroke, and it's actually an actor in a suit. And they're like, no, it's the actor. And he goes, yeah, man, I'm Shia LaBeouf. And they're like, you're the Shia LaBeouf? And they start beating the shit out of him again, which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah. No, he was actually fucked up way before that, Viking bitch. It goes with the whole thing about the child actor, because he started off as a child actor and everything, and I'm pretty sure there's some stuff that happened to him during that screwed him up fairly well. Do I think Kevin Smith will do good by Masters of the Universe? He's just producing. I think he's co-writing it with somebody, which means that someone else is going to be writing the majority of it, because he's doing his movie right now. He's out doing what is it, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and he's focused on that. So every time you hear, so it's kind of funny. I'm starting to see patterns here. Is whenever you hear there's a casting rumor that makes it to the news, it means that person's already been cast, because they're just basically they're trying to do like social media in the news now, where they're seeing what the reaction is to it. And case in point is the Eternals movie. Supposedly there's a shitload more people that have been cast already, like big names that have been cast in the Eternals movie. And what they're doing is they're just slowly metering out how much information they're sending out about it. And one of the actors, he's like a low-level actor too. I don't even remember what his name is. I was scanning through the news articles, said, yeah, there's a whole bunch more people that have been cast that you're going to be hearing about later on. And it's crazy. And I always thought that was the case. I was never sure. It was one of my conspiracy theories, but now that it's been confirmed, I'm kind of happy about that. And they do it in order to keep buzz going about your movie until opening day. You keep growing and growing and growing until people get more excited about it, and you get more butts in the seats on day one. Kevin Smith admits that he's lazy. Now that he has money, he is really showing. He used to be really funny. Yeah, I know. He's not funny, quite honestly. It's the same shtick over and over and over again. At Comic-Con, I really, really dislike having him either moderate a panel or have a panel about him, because it's the same stories over and over again. It's not anything new. And I'm talking about for the last 15 years, it's been the same story. So, yeah. Sorry. When's the My Little Pony movie coming out? I think it already came out. I can't wait to see how Coppola handled the source material. That's a good one, Ejar. I think I've made some kind of joke about that too in the past, before Coppola actually did produce Joker coming out. So yes, so Joker is really excuse me, that's Scorsese. That's right. So Scorsese is the one that is producing this movie, and supposedly they're liking it to Goodfellas Casino, Dog Day Afternoon. I can't remember what else. Falling Down, a couple other things too. And I'm like, so basically they took every Scorsese movie ever made and just remade it as a uh as a comic book movie. Got it. All right. So really original there. Thanks, guys. King of Comedy. Yeah. Kings of Comedy meets Falling Down. That's what I heard too, Ejar. And I was like, I really have no desire to see it, to tell you the truth. Quite honestly, it's just, I don't know why. I want to see new stuff is really what I want to see. I want to see some new stuff. I don't want to see the same stuff over and over and over again. I'm old. I've seen a lot of stuff. Okay. I want to see new stuff. If I want to see old stuff, I've got DVDs. I'll go and watch my DVDs. You know, that's what I'm here for. Likening it to a ton of movies, I have not been interested in it either. Exactly, Marks. So I think all the comic book fans and stuff like that are not going to be interested in this movie, and it's all the people who don't know anything about comics, which is 99% of the rest of the world, is probably going to go and see it. I don't have to see it. I live in LA. I've already lived it. Yeah. It's exactly it, Viking Mitch. They are trying to appeal to non-comics fans, and it's set in Gotham, is really what it is. But at the same time, I'm just going, and Bruce Wayne's not even born, and this guy's supposed to be what, in his 50s now at this point. So you're telling me that by the time Batman comes around, Joker is supposed to be 80 years old, 90 years old? No wonder he can beat the shit out of him so easily. That's right, Marks. If I want to see the old stuff, I put it on the 65-inch QLED TV surround sound system, 7.2 surround sound system, by the way. Yes, Jeff Goldblum is the collector's brother, who is also an Eternal. That's correct. I agree with you, Pen Farm Girl. I've made this point time and time again. Why do I want to watch shows and movies about true crime and stuff like that? That's depressing, quite honestly. There's enough depressing shit in real life. I want to watch the fantasticals when I want to see. I want to see stuff that I know we're probably never going to see in our lifetime, kind of thing. I want to see that kind of stuff. I want something fun. Yeah. But on to something better here. So I did talk about the Watchmen series premiering on October 20th at 9 p.m. Like I said, it conflicts with Mr. Robot. Mr. Robot comes on first, October 6th, if I remember correctly. And depending on how those 2 weeks go, It might get shunted to the back burner for Watchmen. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. We'll also see how Watchmen is, quite honestly. Because Watchmen might suck. That is, Damon Lindelof, by the way. So there's always that possibility. I doubt the Watchmen will be good. Could be wrong, though. I agree with you, Stanley Tweedle. Doesn't make any difference. It could be crap. It could still be popular. That's the whole thing on that. There's a lot of really crappy shows out there that are popular. Big Brother. Yeah, The Apprentice. There's a lot of shit out there that is really popular that people love. ER. Grey's Anatomy. So that's all I'm gonna say. It seems Watchmen is a difficult story to get right. Well, this is supposed to take place after Watchmen. It's supposed to be like, I guess, 20 years after Watchmen. I agree with you, Stanley Tweedle. The Boys isn't really Watchmen in modern times. The Boys is more it's more realistic as manufactured than anything else, I would say. Yeah. That's all I can say without giving away things. I don't hold out too much hope for Watchmen, but I'd still check it out if Dennis says to. Pen, thank you. I mean, you guys don't have to watch everything I watch, quite honestly. That's why I watch it for you. That's why I have the Is It Worth My Time? Yeah. Yeah, both the Collector and Game Master, who is Jeff Goldblum's character, by the way, is named Game Master. They're both brothers in the in Marvel Comics. And they're both Eternals. Yes, they are. Yeah. I can't see any similarities between The Boys and Watchmen. Yeah, The Boys is different. It really is. It really is a backlash. I agree with you, Joe. And it's not. It's Garth Ennis being Garth Ennis is really what it is. And Garth Ennis likes to be an asshole quite often. Take it from one asshole to another. Yes, it's that's what he's an asshole. So yeah, and the book is a lot more graphic and a lot darker than the show is. Yeah, I agree with you, Penn. It is a darker, grittier feel than traditional comics. Well, I don't know how this show is going to go, Stanley Tweedle. It's supposed to be the aftermath of what's going on after Dr. Manhattan has left and has, you don't have any more superheroes going on, but then you have all these cops covering over their faces and becoming kind of an elite group, I guess you could say. And some of them are going outside, and becoming, quote unquote vigilantes at this point. So it's just kind of taking it in a different direction. I'm fairly sure Damon Lindelof hasn't thought it through because he never thinks through any of his ideas. They're usually half baked. Take a look at Lost, for example. And yeah, that I don't put too much stock into it right now. Is the Watchmen show a sequel to the movie or just a full-on reimagining? It's a sequel because Jeremy Irons plays an older Ozymandias, is what he plays. So we've already seen this in the trailers. Ozymandias is supposed to be dead, but he's really alive. And Dr. Manhattan supposedly is supposed to be coming back at some point. How do I feel about the Watchmen movie, Penn? I thought it was pretty bad, quite honestly. So Zack Snyder is really good at aping whatever is. He's already got the storyboards for it, but he didn't put any of the feeling into Watchmen. The Watchmen was a really hard movie to make. It really was. And by changing the ending the way he did from the book, You also kind of, and I granted the ending of the book is kind of weird. So changing the ending of the book in the movie kind of negates a couple of things. And yeah, I just wasn't a big fan of it. It just seemed really weird. The actors are good in it. I give them that. But it came off very hollow feeling. Yeah, I agree with you, Caleb. Zack Snyder is a visual storyteller, and even then, he's kind of a one-note visual storyteller. And yeah, he can't write for shit. That's for damn sure. Take a look what he did with Justice League and Batman versus Superman. So, let's see what else we got here. I'm just taking a look at what you guys are writing. Lost had so much potential, and for the sake of subverting expectations, they messed it up. Well, Marks, they never knew what was going on. They had a whole bunch of, hey, this would be cool. Hey, this would be cool. Hey, this would be cool. But they never tied it in to a story. They didn't know where they were going with it. But Sucker Punch was so good. Yeah. Sucker Punch was dog shit. That's actually another thing that's been making the rounds on HBO here, and I've been avoiding that one like the plague. Like the plague topped with anthrax. Oh, that's what it was. Hey, anybody at work who we were having that conversation, it was anthrax that we were talking about. Caleb Richardson, like his movies look beautiful. Batman vs Superman looks ripped from The Dark Knight Returns, but it has no substance. Yeah, exactly. It has no substance. And like I said, it's everything he does is hollow feeling. It looks pretty, but it has no heart to it, and it has no soul to it. It has vision, but it empty inside. It's like a hollow statue, is really what it is. Yeah, sometimes I have these conversations at work. So, yes, it was a casual conversation about anthrax. It has two Marthas. But what's your father's name? uh, like Apple products. Yeah. Why did you say Martha? Why? Teen Titans Go to the Movies again does a great version of that. Like, what's your mother's name? Martha. My mother's name is Martha too. And they hug each other, and then Batman pulls back and goes, but what's your father's name? And that's what they start to fight, is because their father's name is different, which I found was pretty damn funny. It's like a toddler playing with toys. In the kid's mind, it's amazing. In reality, it's just two dolls smashing together. Exactly. Booney Maz, I actually like Sucker Punch. Yeah, I think you were the only one. You were the reason why it made $11.50. $11.50. That's all that movie ever made. Yeah. So what else do we have here? Oh, Will Smith and Akiva Goldsman, my favorite writer. Speaking of shitty writers, they're going to adapt the novel Brilliance into a movie. So the movie is supposed to be about 1% of, since the 1980s, 1% of the world's population has special powers. And so Will Smith's character is going to be a cop. Big surprise there, who has a special power. Basically, his special power is he can read body language so accurately that he can tell what people's next move is going to be. And he is supposed to be policing these 1% of the population. That's what it's about. Supposedly, there is a trilogy of books on this. And I actually had to stay awake by jabbing myself in the leg with a needle while I was reading the article about what the description was. And so you judge me, Stanley Tweedle? That's all right. So do a lot of other people. Yeah. It's a trilogy, exactly. Viking bitch. Big surprise there. So Hancock becomes a cop. No, he doesn't have any superpowers other than he can read people very, very well. He can tell you what your next move is going to be, whatever that is. Yeah. I'm. Yeah. It's just Will Smith trying to get back into the swing of things. Tamarok's thoughts on the animated Harley Quinn trailer? Yeah, I'm gonna cover it. Quite frankly, Tamarok's. It looks like it's gonna be fun. There's swearing involved. There's gonna be some blood, all that kind of stuff. I'm in. Smokey is the bandit in this one. What movie was that from? Ejar? I know that's a quote from something, isn't it? Yeah. He can tell your next movie by your body language. He can tell how bad your choice will be when you're standing in line at the movie theater. Yeah, that's the thing that gets me too, is that some people will go, they go to the movies not knowing what they're going to go and see because they're saying, hey, I just want to go see a movie. And they will stand there in line and they can't find a movie that they really want to see, but they'll buy a ticket to a movie anyway to go and see it instead of just walking away. Remember, there's always the option to just walk away. I do it plenty of times where, I actually look to see what's out first before I go to the movie theater. But sometimes I'll be in the vicinity of the movie theater, go, hey, what's playing? And I'll look and I'm like, oh, wow, there is nothing out. And I just walk away. That's always the option on TV as well. Just because there's TV and there's shit on doesn't mean you need to sit there and watch it. You can turn it off and walk away or roll away or however your mode of transportation is, your favorite mode of transportation. I hope DC should find its Kevin Feige soon, whether they go with J.J. Abrams. No. So the rumor is that James Gunn is most likely going to be filling that spot. Yes, I know he's back at Marvel and everything, but the rumor has been for a while, Caleb, that James Gunn is supposed to be. They're going to see how Suicide Squad 2 does, and if it does as big as numbers as they think it's going to, then he is going to be their man in the top spot. And I don't blame them at all because they need a win. They really need a win at some point. They've got all the characters there and they just need to have someone that can put that shit together cohesively without sucking. If J.J. Abrams sticks to DC, I would be happy as long as he leaves. No, I don't want I really don't want J.J. Abrams anywhere near DC. Let him stay in the Star Trek universe. I don't care. He can keep fucking that up. And this, his version of Star Wars, he can keep fucking that up. I don't care. I don't want him anywhere near DC. It already has its own problems. Doesn't need another, and that was a whole problem that we had with Zack Snyder, was he screwed up a lot of the DC universe. And J.J. Abrams would be the same thing. It'd be like sticking another Snyder in there. Tamarok's my problem with Will Smith in the last decade is him just playing himself like in Suicide Squad. Yeah, exactly. The fact that he had writers in his contract that he can change the script anytime he wants to. He has final say on what the final cut is of the movie, all that kind of stuff. I hope now he's beyond that point where that's no longer put in his contract because he doesn't command that kind of money anymore. So I'm fairly sure those aren't writers in his contract anymore. Unless he's producing it, then that's a different story. And that's the only reason why his son gets movie roles is because of that. Yeah. Parents just don't understand. Yeah. No, Caleb, Kevin Smith belongs on TV. He's fine playing around in the CW box, that sandbox that he's playing in, but he does not belong in the movies either. Yeah. I'm telling you, you need somebody out there that's actually competent, good and isn't going to kill off a character like Jimmy Olsen just for the fun of it. Exactly, Booney Maz. I want someone to make DC as good as its potential. Exactly. Same thing with me. It makes me angry every time I think about Zack Snyder just killing off Jimmy Olsen because he knew it would piss off fans. Yeah. Wow. You just broke my brain on that E-jar. I'm not going to read it. So let's see. What else do we have here? Matt Reeves has finally finished the script for The Batman. I know you guys were all waiting for that, but yes, he actually has finished the script for The Batman. Huzzah! Yay! I'm honestly, until I see a trailer, I'm not really all that fired up about it. Again, Matt Reeves is kind of middle of the road. He doesn't do anything that's exciting, and he doesn't do anything that sucks. So it's middle of the road. His Planet of the Apes movies were pretty dull. They were passable. I mean, I take that back. They were serviceable, but they were not anything that generate any kind of interest in me to go and watch it. I didn't go out of my way to go and see it. Let's just put it that way. Wait, when was Jimmy Olsen in the movies? So remember when Lois was interviewing the terrorist, Caleb, and the cameraman that was with not cameraman, but yeah, it was the cameraman that was with Lois Lane, ends up getting shot. That was Jimmy Olsen. He even says his name is Jimmy Olsen and works with the CIA. I believe it was in Batman versus Superman. And that's when he killed him. And he did it. It's in a blink and you miss it scene. And he did it purposely just to piss off people. Yeah. Yes, the random CIA agent at the beginning of Batman versus Superman was Jimmy Olsen. Yep. That is right. And he is on record. Snyder is on record saying that I thought it would be fun to kill him off because I knew it would piss off a lot of people. So, yeah. And no, Batman is not going to sparkle or, or turn into a vampire or anything like that. Quite honestly, I'm interested to see how Pattinson's going to do as Batman. I know a lot of people are all up in arms about it and whatnot. Same people that were up in arms about Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker. That's all I'm going to say about that one. We all know how that went, right? How did you like Heath Ledger as the Joker after you saw the movie? Yeah. So watch it first, and then you can be pissed about it. Okay, that's why he wasn't named in the theatrical cut. Ultimate Edition said he was actually in the theatrical cut. I remember in the theaters, he said his name was Jimmy Olsen. Agent Olsen is what he said his name was. Because he tells Lois, "Don't worry, I'm Agent Olsen. I'm with the CIA. I'm here to help you." And that's yeah, it was pretty shitty. I'm okay with Pattinson, but I feel Ben could have done one more. I think Ben was already checked out of it because he couldn't come up with a script. He even said, that he was having trouble finding a script. And I'm like, dude, you have 80 years worth of comics history to draw from, and you couldn't come up with a script. Yeah. Then you're just not trying at that point, or you're just not invested in it. I'm okay with Keaton not coming back in the Cal. He wasn't my favorite. I know, blasphemy, but hey. Isn't Jiminy, isn't Jimmy the editor of a women's magazine? In the CW universe, he is, yes. And yeah, that was the other thing too. Ben Affleck, his personal problems, his addictions were going to add double the amount to whatever movie that he was working on, especially a big budget movie like that, because of the insurance costs. Anytime you've gone to rehab more than 2 times, which I believe he has, I believe he's gone 3, they end up making you take out insurance for half the cost of the movie, especially if he's the director and the writer and the actor. Make a big Barda movie. You know what I would like to see, Joe? I would like to see a Mr. Miracle movie, tell you the truth, based on the series that came out. I think that would actually be really cool. Then you could bring Big Barda in on that one. I would see an Ambush Bug movie, quite honestly. If you could be a DC villain, who would you be, Marks? Let me see. If I could be a DC villain, I'd be King Shark. Yeah, I like King Shark as a villain. Mainly because he sings the Baby Shark song to piss people off and also be just really creepy at the same time. Yeah, the insurance thing clinched it for Ben being done. Yeah, it really did. Ejar, I'm Batman. Damn it! I know, sir, but I just want to know how many tacos you want. Oh, sorry, there's still 2 for $1. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want my Doctor Doom movie by Noah Hawley as well. Tamarocks. I agree with you. Batmite, Joe? Is that what you would be, Joe? You'd be Batmite? Yeah, Batmite's well, they're talking about making another Swamp Thing movie already. Yeah. Who knows what the hell they've got going on over at WB right now? Who knows? There's so many rumors on top of rumors now. Yes, Stanley Tweedle, Noah Hawley. So they're waiting to see, I believe Disney's waiting to see how Lucy in the Sky does. So Lucy in the Sky was done over at Fox. It comes out October 11th, I think, something like that. It's fairly soon in October, and they're going to see how that does. It's a drama, and it's his first feature film directing. And I'm sure that's what Disney's waiting for. They want to see how much money that thing makes, because it didn't cost a lot to make it. If it makes a lot of money, then they're most likely going to greenlight his Doctor Doom movie, because he did have a Doctor Doom script that he pitched to Fox that Fox really loved. They wanted to go with, but it was happening during the time of the merger between Disney and Fox. And he has since gone and talked to Kevin Feige and the people over at Marvel, and they really like the script as well. And they want him to do some stuff for them, as he put it. He was just there as not too long ago, as a matter of fact. It was just before Comic-Con. He was talking to Marvel. So yeah, that is a match made in heaven right there. If they could get him in there to do the X-Men movies, do the X-Men reboot, and do it well, that would be awesome. Or Fantastic Four. Or, like I said, I want to see this Doctor Doom movie that he's got going. I mean, to be able to take a villain, deconstruct it the way he did, and make you sympathize with him, both sympathize and also be frightened of him at the same time, and do it in a way that is so well done, the way he did with Legion, I would buy that ticket. And yeah, I'd probably buy multiple tickets, quite honestly, to go and see it. I haven't done that in a long time, where I've, bought a movie ticket, seen the movie, then walked out, bought another ticket, and walked right back in. Last time I think I did that was Terminator 2. Yeah. I was young. Don't judge me on that one. So, well, now, if with the Joker, or Joker as it's called, supposedly set to make all this money, you're going to see a whole bunch of these standalone villain movies coming about from Warner Brothers. Yeah. I agree with you, Stanley Tweedle. Yeah. I would love to see his take on this stuff. But what else I got here? Oh, that's right. So, coming up here, we have DC Universe's 1-year anniversary. As a matter of fact, it's this month. It's September. And DC Universe has a week's long worth of events planned for their 1-year anniversary. And you're probably saying, what the hell is that? I'll tell you. Let's see here. So some of the stuff has already happened. Tuesday, they had the Swamp Thing celebration featuring show star Ian Ziering, because of course everyone else was pissed off that it got canceled. Wednesday, they had the Doom Patrol celebration featuring April Balby, who plays Elastigirl, by the way. Cooking with TV chef Adam Gertcher. And then Thursday, they had the Young Justice celebration hosted by Brandon Vati, Greg Wiseman, and Zara Fassel, also known as Halo. Yesterday, they had the Titan celebration with celebrity guest Curran Walters, who plays Robin, the new Robin. You know, why is he in Dick's costume? So Monday, they're going to have the couch. This is all new stuff now that I'm going to tell you from here on out. So Monday, they have what's called couch mode on the big screen, and they're showing off DC Universe's comic reader mode on the big screen for all to enjoy. And by the way, if you haven't been able to take a look at this on a big screen TV, it's actually kind of cool. Reading the comics on a big screen. It's not bad, I have to admit. So Dan Jurgens will watch his Death of Superman brought to life, and Jim Kruger will watch his Justice as Bigger Than Ever Seen Before. So that's what he's doing. By the way, sorry, I'm horribly writing this, but reading this. Yeah. Who needs two dicks? Yeah. Why is there dick in a costume? Because they're kinky that way, Joe. Yes, the dick jokes abound. So Tuesday, Harley Quinn it's gonna be the Harley Quinn celebration, showcasing the full set of DC collectibles, black and white Batman, and for the first time ever, featuring special guest Harley Quinn co-creator Paul Dini. Actually, that's one I'm kind of interested to see, to tell you the truth. I want to see Paul Dini. Paul Dini is actually one of those guys who is a very underrated writer. He is one of those writers that actually is very freaking creative. And I want to see what he's got to say, to tell you the truth. So Wednesday, we have Sam Levine's Road Showcase visits the archives for a full episode displaying some of the massive DC props that can't travel to the studio. So that's Batmobiles, statues, and so much more will be unveiled. That's interesting, but not really anything I want to see. Thursday, DC Universe Year 1. I guess that is actually the so the 9/12 on Thursday is their actual anniversary, 1-year anniversary. And it says clips featuring fan favorite moments. And then Friday the 13th, it's going to be fan appreciation, showcasing fan videos, art trivia, and fan of the week. Interesting. I mean, not exciting, but interesting. Anything else? Yes, it is 65 inches. Oh, you're talking about the TV. I'm sorry. That's also 65 inches. A lot of the fan favorites come from Swamp Thing. Yes, I do have it mounted on my wall. I do. I'm looking at it right now. As a matter of fact, it's right over here to my right. So, yes, it's a thing of beauty. No, I had to mount it up on the wall just to kind of get it up and out of the way of other things. Does he need the mount to mount? Yes, you do. Do you stand like a tripod? That's a personal question, Joe. Okay, I know Doom Patrol has a lot of favorites too. So speaking of Doom Patrol, Penn, you kind of segued into my next thing here. Jeremy Carver, who is the showrunner for Doom Patrol, answered a couple questions about what we're going to see coming up in season 2 of Doom Patrol. And yeah, so it says 5 Doom Patrol burning questions answered ahead of season 2. And one of the questions they asked was the Doom Patrol did help Niles, but have they forgiven him for his betrayal? And Jeremy Carver answers, it's raw and unresolved right now. They all have to come to grips with those feelings in season 2. And because Dorothy, Niles' daughter, was the reason Niles experimented with immortality in the first place, Carver says the girl plays an integral role in moving forward. And I said, speaking of Dorothy, how does she fit in with the team? Not seamlessly. Okay. So the members of Doom Patrol all have parental baggage or issues with children they have or had, says Carver. Now they have a child in their midst who is very demanding because of superpowers that she has that are somewhat uncontrollable. The girl is both lovable and a deadly force. They and Niles are going to have to figure out a way to keep the world safe from Dorothy. That's going to be interesting as far as I'm concerned. I was kind of wondering that too. And yes, season 2 is confirmed, Viking Bitch. It is confirmed. So, yeah. I'm not that much of a hoe, Mr. Roboto. So, will the Doom Patrol return to their normal sizes? Because remember, at the very end of season 1, they all came out of Ezekiel, and they were very, very small. And Jeremy Carver says, in short, yes, it's a Doom Patrol pickle that feels very Doom Patrol to us. Carver laughs. So, and have we seen the last of Mr. Nobody and Mercenary the Beard Hunter? Mr. Nobody was a huge threat in the series for first 15 episodes. And we saw in the last moments of the finale that he and his henchmen aren't vanquished. Mr. Nobody was hoisted by his own petard, and he remains trapped in the painting with the Beard Hunter. I would assume that we could see him again. And then finally, did Danny the Street make it out of the painting? And he says yes. Sharp-eyed viewers can spot him in the last moments of the episode, according to Carver. If they look extremely close, they'll see in just what form he's made it out. There you go. So we got all that to look forward to. So, size matters. Speaking of pickle. Yeah. I want another episode inside Jane's head more. I'm sure we're going to get more of that, Tamrocks. I like Danny the Street as well, Viking Bitch. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Roboto. So that brick that they were sitting on, I'm pretty sure was Danny. Yeah. That sounds interesting. I've never seen Doom Patrol. Oh, Dante, yes. If you've never seen Doom Patrol, I would implore you to sign up for the 7-day free trial of DC Universe and binge it because it's on there. It's so well worth it. If you liked, it's up there with Legion, quite honestly. That was one of my favorite shows. Yeah. Very well written. Just really, really good. Surprisingly good. Yeah. I agree with you, Viking Bitch. For me, it's actually even with Legion. It's they're right there, right next to it. So yeah, they were tied for first place for me. Ms. Cyborg should really be in Titans now, no excuse. He is in Doom Patrol, Mr. Roboto. He is not in Titans because of that. Counterpart is my number 2. I'm sorry to say, Marks, it slipped to number 2 just because I mean, it's great and everything, but Legion and uh, I've made this excuse before. Legion and Doom Patrol are my number ones. Yeah. Counterpart is number 2. Mr. Robot number 3. Yeah. And this is stuff that's rewatchable. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely rewatchable. Swamp Thing is up there too. I mean, it's probably my number 4. Which Funko Pop, Mr. Roboto? I don't remember which ones are up there anymore. I also have to take a look at them. Every time Sasha comes over, I have to make sure that they're all in the right positions now because she likes posing them in funny little ways when I go out to walk Pepper and things like that, and then leave little signs up and things like that. So yeah, now I actually have to police my collection back there. No, it's not OCD. It's just a matter of having some things not in questionable positions, shall we say. Yeah. You're right, Mr. Robot. Mr. Roboto. Although Pepper is not as much of a handful. That's all I can say. She's easier to deal with. Where is Westworld on that list? I take that back. Westworld's number 4, and then Swamp Thing's number 5. Tamarocks, thank you. I forgot about Westworld. It's been a while since it's been on, so I mean, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Must not have the action figures molest each other on camera. It's not a good thing to have. So, Swamp Thing needs a new movie. He will have a new movie, Mr. Roboto. Just relax. It will happen. Sorry, I was going to make a really bad joke, which I'm not going to now. Yeah, Expanse is good. It's just farther down the list for me. I'm sorry. There's so much good TV that's out there. It really is. There is so much good TV out there. Hey, Booney Maz, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Robot is a sci-fi show. It is not a drama, as a lot of people put it. It's not in that category. It is a sci-fi show. When you have an entire 3rd season that is devoted to talking about time travel, alternate realities, and things like that, you know where that show is heading. What's a Farscape, Marks? See, you know what that's going to invoke when I do that? You just made it past Alf. Do you mean the Mayans MC EJAR? Yeah. I wouldn't say it makes me wrong, Viking bitch. Then I stopped watching Mr. Robot. Oh, really? Oh, you made it past the Alf. Okay, that one. Then you stopped watching Mr. Robot. Season 2 is a rough go through. Season 3 is so much better. Yeah. They're all evil. All the versions of me are evil. Yeah. Like I said, there's so much stuff out there that's good. Especially now. It's so much more so than movies. The movies are that we have out there, they're not good. I should say there's not a lot of good movies out there. There are a lot of crappy ones with very few and far in between good movies that are worth the money. That's why I can't sign up for one of those, what is it, movie services that you pay a certain amount a month and you can see however many movies you want to see or whatever it is that they have. It's just not worth it to me. I don't go to the movies that often anymore. And considering that the price of a DVD or a Blu-ray or anything like that is the price of a ticket price now when they come out, it's kind of not worth it. To tell you the truth, you can just wait till it comes out and then buy it. Dennis is wrong most of the time, but don't hold it against him too much. No one's ever wrong here. Yeah. Viking Bitch, I would say just watch the last 3 episodes of season 2 just to get through it, and then start off with season 3 of Mr. Robot. Season 2 is a really rough go. That's all I can say on that one. It's just really, it's a tough go. Doom Patrol is supposed to be coming out on disc at some point. I don't know. I don't even know if season 1 of Titans came out on disc, to tell you the truth. So, Sasha's always wrong, Pen, even though she doesn't like to admit it. She's gonna be pissed when she hears that one too. It's gonna be funny. Trust me, I'll be hearing about that one for years to come. She buys popcorn. No, she doesn't. She doesn't buy anything. What are you talking about? Dennis, if you can go to an alternate universe where season 2 of The Boys is finishing, would you review it and spoil it for us? Of course. We got Future Man and Venture Brothers in the list of really good current shows. Yeah, that's true. They're my top 10. There's a lot of ties for things in my top 10. There we go. September 30th, Doom Patrol is on disc. Interesting. That happened with most people I know. Season 2 was a struggle, but worth it. Yeah. Season 2 wasn't very good. It really wasn't. But season 3 redeemed itself quite a bit. Yeah, I know. Stanley tweeted, welcome to my world. Too many shows. And sometimes you have that gap where you don't have any shows going on, so you don't know what the hell to cover. And so you have to come up with something that pisses people off with something called, is it worth my time? Yeah. Well, of course, Viking Bitch. That's besides the point. That's exactly it. Man. Well, that was it for I had for the news. So Jeremy Carver was the last thing, and I figured I'd tie it into the DC Universe stuff, and that's all I've got going. But I mean, where am I at here? Yeah, I'm at the right stopping point, somewhere around there. Not too bad along. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Also, if you want to see when I'm going to be on live again next, you can hit the bell down below. Don't hit the bell if you already hit it before, because it will unclick it. You can go into the bell settings and get as many or as little notifications as you want. If you want to see when I'm going to be on live again next, my schedule-wise, you can go to suspendedfanimation.com, see the schedule there. My schedule is also up on my Facebook page for Suspended Fanimation. I have a Twitter, I have an Instagram. I also have a Patreon page. But the Patreon page does not have any tiers set up as of yet. All those links can be found on my website, suspendedfanimation.com. All right. Booney Maz, I am in that gap, Dennis. Help. I am showless right now. I'm debating starting The Expanse. Start The Expanse, Booney Maz. You might as well. You have until December to finish up those 3 seasons. Or 2 seasons? 3 seasons. There you go. Yeah, you might as well do it. Also, if you haven't checked out Doom Patrol or Swamp Thing or The Tick. What else do we have that you can watch? There's a lot of stuff out there. If you haven't seen Legion as of yet, Legion just wrapped up their third season. Oh, what else is there that's out there? The Good Place is always good as well. I'm actually catching up right now on Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I actually saw it's kind of funny. I watched them out of order because for some reason my cable box would only allow me to see the last 4 episodes of the last season, which I watched. I was like, all right, whatever. And now Netflix has them all 12 episodes. So I'm watching a couple of them in the beginning and whatnot. Not really missing much off of it, tell you the truth. Your thoughts on the post-Crimean War land distribution and how it impacted the price of teacups in post-feudal Japanese society. You never want to start a land war in Asia. It's always a mistake. Yeah, most people don't know that. So, yeah, The Boys as well. Yes, Booney Ma's. The Boys, definitely. Trying to think of anything else out there. Counterpart, if you haven't seen Counterpart. Yeah, Future Man on Hulu is always good because season 3 is coming up in January. The third and final season, I should say, is coming up in January. Happy, yes. Happy, you got seasons 1 and 2 of Happy that are out there. Deadly Class, the first season was actually really good, but it's canceled. So, yeah. There's lots of stuff out there. Lots and lots and lots of stuff out there to watch. If you haven't watched it already. Pretty much you can just go through my playlist and see what's on there. If you see it has less than 4 episodes on there, that means I didn't like it. Yeah. Thanks, Pen. That's exactly it. Yeah, I wasn't about to watch Another Life. Another Life, like I said, I saw that first episode and it was just horrible. Horribly horrible. So, with that said, and because the little dog on the couch says the time is up, is what she's saying, I'm going to let you guys go for the day. Thank you, everybody who joined me today in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. And I will see you tomorrow for Preacher. I haven't watched The Tick or Future Man, really. Watch both of those. Those are actually really good. Those are definitely interesting. Yes, so tomorrow is going to be Preacher. Monday I'm off. Tuesday is going to be Is It Worth My Time with the Dark Crystal edition. Wednesday I'm off. Thursday is going to be the Is It Worth My Time Young Justice Outsiders edition. Friday, of course, is going to be Titan Season 2, Episode 2. And then we wrap it all back up again with Saturday Morning Blast Off on Saturdays. There we go. And yes, check out the website for the updated schedule. The updated schedule will be updated on Monday. There we go. Really? You're behind on Preacher? It's pretty easy to catch up. Quite honestly, Stanley, if you watch last week's episode, you'll be all caught up because there really isn't that much to catch up on. Yeah. Exactly. Just say no to hate watching. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. I'm going to let you guys go. Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up finding your show that was on has been canceled and is now going to be made into a movie, possibly, maybe, but only if the executives in charge have decided that they don't want another TV show made with different actors, but they want to do a movie based on the TV show, based on the movie, but with different actors, if that made any sense. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.